dreamt about this moment. I have prayed about this moment. I've counted down to this moment, and I'm so excited. What is elegance to you? How would you define elegance?
And a lady of elegance would have good character and be confident. And actually, they are confident in their own skin. They know who they are without having to shout, without having to tell anyone. When an elegant lady walks into a room, she doesn't need to announce herself. Her mannerisms, her demeanor, her posture, all of that tells a story. What she's wearing, her appearance, all of that tells a story. And most of us would have come across people and you think, wow, without them saying anything, you look at them and you think, wow, what a presence. And that, in a way, is what elegance and being polished is all about.
Speaking about boundaries, we're speaking about the refined ladies' communication. How can you take the lessons we're going to learn today and put it into your life so you become a better person, a more refined, more elegant, more sophisticated woman, that you become a person of value, a person that, that just, speaks to the world with everything that they have.
Every time you open your mouth to speak, you introduce yourself to the world. You do a download of your history, where you have been, your qualification, your exposure, your experience, your training. Every time you open your mouth to speak, that's what you do.
A way of being that is powerfully, gracefully, effortlessly elegant. It produces power. It produces power.
If you say this is how I am, you might be shortchanging yourself and settling for 57% when you could actually get all the way to 87+% of the kind of man you deserve. And the difference between the 57% and the 87% kind of guy is just how you look. And I mean, no one is going to have time to listen to you talk or know that you have inner beauty when they've not seen outside beauty, right? You might not just get that opportunity. And so you can't blame the men and say that the men, all they want is fine girl, all they want is trophy wife. They should marry Paco wife. So we need to see inner beauty and outer beauty. So dears, please, looking good is good business.
In my current season, you all should see me. I'm carrying like 10-pound arms and just, working on this core. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes? So identifying what matters for each season of your life will help you soar beyond what you can imagine.
Rise up, I like the waves.
Hello! Listen, I was going to do a whole song and dance. I'm so excited about today. You cannot begin to imagine. See, I'm even stammering. Let's start again. Okay, roll. Hello! Good evening, ladies, and welcome. Welcome to the second edition, day one of the Refined Ladies Summit 2023. This, I actually want to dance, but okay, let me behave. Let me woosa myself into submission. I am really excited to be here. Thank you so much for signing up for joining, the early birds that have joined. And I'm elated. Oh, I'm beginning to see us in the comment section. Yay! Keep it coming, keep it coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So my name is Lady Bodam Taiwo. Someone asked me recently, was I giving the lady title by the Queen of England? Is coming. I think His Majesty is going to summon for me soon. Anyway, I'm Lady Bodam Taiwo, and I'm going to be your host over the next 4 days. I'm going to be the host of the Refined Ladies Summit for a minute. And welcome. It's my joy, my personal pleasure to have you all here today. I see my people in the comment section. Thank you. I was going to give into vanity for a second, Ayo, but I'm going to be good. So let me know as we kick off the 2023 edition of the summit. Let me know where you are joining from. Tell me where you're joining us from. I always love to know where people join from. So I am joining from the beautiful and often crowded city of Lagos, Nigeria. It's a joy to have you. Thank you so much for all the compliments. I see you. Thank you. Let me know where you're joining. Ghana, yay! Angelina, welcome from Ghana. I see my Ghanaians in the house. I see my Lagosians in the house. Ogun State, Nigeria, fantastic. It's lovely to see you as well. Thank you, Lagos. I see Estonia. Fantastic. Look at that. Kenya, UK, awesome. Canada. Hello from Canada. Oh, Santa from Texas. Lagos, Nigeria. I see another Canada over there. Ebonyi State. London, Ojola, so good to have you. Kay from the UK, Kenya, Very and Ben, hello. Chidima from New York, so good to have you. Lagos, Nigeria, Ogun State, Nigeria, Bukola, PM of Life, welcome. Lagos, city of aquatic splendor. Tracy, my beloved, welcome. Look at that. I'm just see my people are here. So I'm this is a family thing, right? Ugo from Lagos. So good to have you, my darling. Ogun State, Canada. Hello. All right. So keep it coming. As you join in, keep where you're coming from. I've seen Estonia, I've seen Canada, I've seen the UK, I've seen London, I've seen Lagos, Nigeria, I've seen Ghana, so I've seen Kenya, of course. So keep the states and the countries coming in. I've seen Washington, DC, Ocean State, my personal state, Lagos, fantastic. Now tell me why you decided to join the summit this year. Just give me a one-liner. What are your, before you can always get something out of something, it's always great to set expectations, right? It's always great to set expectations. So I want you to take the next 2 minutes to set your expectations. What do you want to get from tonight's session? What do you want to get from this year's edition of the Refined Ladies Summit? Right? So set your expectations for me in the comment section. For me, I am here to see positive modeling from women who have gone ahead of me. I'm here to have a renewed sense of hope and conviction, right? I want strengthened convictions to see that the dreams and the ambitions that I have for my life are possible to achieve. I'm here to just be inspired and to be empowered for the next level of my life, right? I'm here to be equipped. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to connect with new people. I want to meet people that I haven't met before, right? I want to connect with people I haven't connected with before. That's why I'm here. I love it. Esther says to become elegant and diligent as a lady. Awesome. Ojoala says, inner peace and revolutionizing. That one is a big one. Buchi says to be connected with superwomen and to be inspired on how to be the most refined version of yourself that ever existed. Bam, bam, bam. Yvonne says to get learnings and strengths from other women leaders and build a strong female network. Yay! Fantastic. Keep it coming. We're moving on very swiftly. Today, I have a really special guest I want to share with you. I'm super excited to share her with you, but you have to let me know that you're excited for me to bring her on. If not, I will keep her to myself and we'll have a private one-on-one session, right? Adeyeye says she's here to learn from superwomen who who have thrived in their chosen career path. Angelina wants lessons on being a refined lady, on and on. Please take a minute and jot down your expectations. Oluwatomisin says she wants to be strengthened for the next level of her life and to connect with people on different levels. Beautiful. Ugochi says to learn and to be inspired. Angelina is excited. That's your excitement, Angelina. Multiplied by 100. That's my own excitement, right? Catherine says to learn from great female leaders and to know how to become one. Also for networking. Networking is a big deal. So thank you for saying that. And we're going to see how we can do it over the next few days we are together. Right? Okay. I don't want to waste more of your time. We're going to get right into tonight's session. But before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about the Refined Lady movement. Do you see I have a little card here, and this is my own little, I have it at the back. I have my card here with the Female Leadership Series, so that whenever I lift up my hands, you know why we are here. Female Leadership Series is what this edition of the Refined Lady Summit is all about. I see Olua Bukola, she wants an overall upgrade to learn from women who have won so she can win like them. Kende wants to connect, learn, and be inspired. Ayomide wants to be stretched and open herself up to great minds and to be one as well. Praise wants to learn from the success and failures of the women changing the narratives. That's powerful because we learn from success, but we also learn from failure. Opeyemi wants to learn and connect with women of impact. Meg wants to upgrade and upskill and draw strength, and on and on and on. Okay, so about the Refined Ladies movement. Why was the Refined Ladies movement born? Now, if anybody has ever heard me speak before, you know a little bit about my story, right? I have a first degree in electronics engineering, and I have a master's in mobile and satellite communications. And I've always been a girly girl. I won a beauty pageant in 2005. I was a lot younger and a lot slimmer, right? But I got into this engineering class, and I had this lecturer who just didn't understand why a woman was in engineering. And he let me know without even, without any guile. He was like, listen, why are you here? I have smarter people who didn't make it through. Why are you here? Right? And I would come in with my thigh-high boots and my heels that were a bit ridiculous for winter, and I was just having a blast. Like, why can't I be here? But he made me understand every single year in, year out until I graduated. He made me understand that, there was something wrong with being a woman that looked the way I looked and with being a woman that speaks the way that I speak, right? And we've heard the narrative as women all our lives, even when we don't realize that's the narrative that's being sold to us. We hear people say, as you're going up the career ladder, sometimes you need to become a bit more masculine to be taken more seriously. You need to, show some power. You need to become more like this or behave more like a man. You need to deepen your voice so that the men will take you seriously. There's nothing I have not heard. And quite frankly, I take all of that advice as being slightly ridiculous. If I were meant to be a man, I would have been created as a man. I was not created as a man. So this is what I know, and this is who I am. And I know there are many other women like me as I started talking and teaching and speaking with women, and that's why the Refined Ladies Summit was born. For a few things. Number one, to build a 360-degree type of woman, right? So to understand that our femininity, who we are as women, is a strength. For personal growth and fulfillment, I want you to really be fulfilled in the life that you have. Not the life that you wish Lady Budam had, or not the life that one of our other speakers have, but really the life and the purpose that you have, the reason for you being on earth. The Refined Lady movement is here to equip, encourage, push you to enjoying and living that life, that personal fulfillment in your own life. It also equips women, helps them enhance their leadership presence and their influence as well. And in the classes I teach, we speak about executive presence, we speak about communication, we speak about leadership skills, growing in influence, and it's all a work in progress, on and on. But that's part of the reason for the Refined Lady movement. And really, it's for us to redefine success. To redefine success and to create a life of holistic well-being and successful women. A life that allows you to integrate all your desires. I truly believe women can have it all. It may be a naive school of thought, I don't know. But I truly believe you can have it all according to what you have decided is your all. If you want to be a full-time stay-at-home wife and mommy, that's your own, that's your desire. And you shouldn't be shamed because that's your highest ambition. If you want to be a blazing career woman that's moving on and be leading multinational teams and cross-cultural teams, that's your ambition. And again, you shouldn't be shamed for that desire. The Refined Lady movement exists to really help women see that wherever it is you go or you are on the spectrum, whatever your innermost desires are, whoever it is you are as a person, there is a place for you in this earth, in this time, and in this generation. You were born with a solution to a problem for our nation, a problem for our world. And until you rise and become that little place that you're meant to solve, is going to remain empty. And that's why the Refined Lady Summit is here. That's why we do this every year. That's why I do the classes that I do. That's why I speak to the women that I do, because I want to see you rise. And I have a desire and a burning passion in my heart to see you become everything that you were created to be. And to do that while looking fabulous as well, right? So welcome again officially to the 2023 edition of the Refined Lady Summit. I keep on saying I was going to dance. I'm going to dance. You know, my sleeves are like, what do you call those people? Is it mariachi dancers? So, you know, I can actually give you a bit of a, okay, but I'll stop. But, you know, I'm like, today, we're having fun. At the same time, we are being serious and we're going to learn. Okay, so tonight's session is strategic thinking and emotional intelligence as a female leader. And this one is fantastic. We're going to play an official introduction video, but I want to say a bit of something about the speaker that's going to come on today, right? But before I do that, why strategic thinking and why emotional intelligence? Because the ability to think critically is an essential tool for us as leaders, not just female leaders, or rather not just leaders, but especially as female leaders. Because I know you know or you've heard, a lot of the time women are accused of being emotional. We're accused of allowing our emotions to lead us. We can't make firm decisions sometimes. We can't do what it is we want to do sometimes. We can't, push through difficult things sometimes. Or we can't even step back and look at a picture holistically or divorce ourselves from criticism or all of that because our emotions are tied into the whole thing. Tonight, we are going to be speaking about how we as women can really just lean into or develop these strengths of emotional intelligence. What is it? What is this strategic thinking of a thing? What's emotional intelligence? In practical ways, like we can give all the theoretical definitions. In practical ways, what does it mean? So the woman, the powerhouse who I have the great honor and pleasure of starting this year's summit was my very first representation of a woman who was doing great things. I met her in 2015. I was working at the time with Diageo Brands Nigeria. I was this greenhorn, at Com. We're building some amazing brands. And then this woman came and she's like, hello, you need to meet her. Her energy is unparalleled. Someone said my energy is unmatched. If you meet Adenike in real life, her energy is like, and she's like, hello, my name is Adenike Adebola. And I'm like, who is this woman? And like that, right? I worked with her for about 4.5 years or so before I moved. But there were certain things about Adenike that even if you speak about Adenike in my home, my parents know of her, my siblings know of her, right? Because she was one leader that modeled a few things, and I'll tell you. And I'm not saying this because she's here. If you've heard me speak about her before, even you would know. Adenike was a leader that a lot of us, I say this all the time, we would have put our lives on the line. That we would lay it down, we would die for Adenike, even without question. One of the people that at a point, I think was her 50th birthday or something when she did, 3 of us converted, 3 of us friends were friends. One is Hennessy. At the time I was Jack Daniels, one was James, all these, but we all converted because those things didn't matter because of the person who had called us to be. That's the kind of person Adenike is. She taught me something about building a team that is fiercely loyal to their leader. Not because the leader demands that loyalty, but because the leader is so authentic and true to who it is that they are. She was light years ahead of me, right? I don't even know how many levels, but there was that hierarchy didn't exist with Adenike. At the same time, you would respect her, whether you like it or not. Sometimes she would lean into her emotions. Some other times she would come hard, but she always called me up higher. With Adenike, I couldn't be complacent. She's like, Budam, you know how to do this thing. Budam, you can do better. Budam. So she called out the gold in me, right? And so it gives me really great joy, great pleasure. My technical person is going to tell me now that, Lady Buddha, you're speaking too much. We have an introduction video. Get out of here. I'm ignoring her today. But it gives me such great pleasure to present to you a woman that shaped what female leadership was for me, and a woman that shaped in general how to be a leader. As I lead teams now, I think to myself sometimes, do my team members, will they look at me a few years down the line, how I looked at Adenike and how I honored and respected her? Hopefully, I don't know. Let's wait to see. But without further ado, I present to you Adenike Adebola. Over to you, Leomi.
Adenike is a graduate of food technology from the Federal Polytechnic, Ado-Ekiti. She holds a postgraduate degree in management from the University of Calabar. She also holds an MBA from the University of Manchester, UK. As a young marketer, Adenike was an embodiment of a dynamic thinker-doer with a strong streak for strategy and commercial acumen, building a personal trademark over the years of delivering sustainable growth through the transformation of brand equity and long-term commercial performance. She joined Guinness Nigeria PLC in August 2005 as a brand manager. She has robust experience spanning commercial capability training, brand marketing, innovations, and customer marketing. She was the Marketing and Innovation Director and a member of the Guinness Nigeria Executive Team, where she oversaw marketing, reserve, innovation, and the portfolio strategy for Nigeria. Prior to her appointment to the top marketing job for Guinness Nigeria, Adenike has held many roles, local and internationally. She was Portfolio Director Spirits. Prior to that, she was based in London, accountable for Guinness Communications for Africa. She returned to Nigeria in July 2015 after a successful period on the Guinness Global Brand team as head of marketing for Spirits, a key role in achieving our performance and vision for Spirits in Nigeria. She was also responsible for Diageo's non-alcoholic agenda for Africa, spanning 15 countries, leading new market expansion, innovation, and content creation. Adebola's leadership is premised on a personal belief that being the best version of yourself every day requires courage and commitment, and the choice to be brave is yours and yours alone, especially if you are a woman. She was a member of Diageo's Global Task Force on Inclusivity and Diversity, leading a new wave of brand accountability and participation, with tackling negative female stereotypes in the media and in advertising. Adenike is currently the Innovation Director Africa, Diageo Brands UK. She is married to Toyin and they have 3 children. Ladies, please welcome Adenike Adebola to the Refined Ladies Summit 2023.
Hi everyone, it's really nice and it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Bodam, for inviting me and asking me to speak about something that actually I am very passionate about. First of all, that introduction made me quick in my shoes. I'm like, oh my God, Bo, you want to put me into trouble? Wake back. But to be honest, I put a few slides together, and the reason why I put those slides is really just to help navigate this conversation. The way I'm going to go about it is very simple. I'm not going to attempt to educate you on what strategic thinking means or what emotional intelligence means. What I'm going to try and do is, I've got a few slides, we'll just talk through it. And it's just a few nuggets that I would kind of use to navigate that conversation. And maybe I'll speak for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I'll shut up. And I'll kind of get into a place where we can just discuss and just have a Q&A sort of arrangement. Because I think that's where you will get the most value. And I will also hopefully learn from you guys as well. First of all, and there's that intro was quite long, so I'm not going to say more, but I'm going to add one little thing to all of that. I am a Barak girl. raised by a single dad who raised 6 girls and 1 boy all by himself. He taught me one thing, and that thing actually permeates who I am and shows up in my life, my choices, and how I relate. And that is to find the courage to take responsibility for my own self, not to wait for favors, not to settle or to make excuses, but just to be courageous enough to say my life and I'm accountable for myself, and to be able to chart that course for myself. I think that's the biggest lesson I learned from my dad. He taught us also to do that while being very grounded and human and in touch with our humanity and never losing touch of that. I think those are the key things. I just wanted to add that to that because it's such an important part of who I am. So if you go to the next slide. So I think the first thing that is important in this whole subject of strategic thinking and emotional intelligence is this idea of the outside in, the big picture. Yeah. Thinking and recognizing that life doesn't start and end with you. There's something bigger than you. There's something out there that is much more important, and there's a higher order, whether it's in the industry that you're in, or in the category, or technically, in any shape or form, or even spiritually. It's just recognizing that there are factors at play externally that shape the things that you're doing, or whatever it is you're doing, or your career, and allow you, that is the premise, for strategic framing or for strategy. There are external factors at play. And being able to recognize that and to raise your head up and not to be siloed or small-minded is the very first thing. So ask yourself, how good is my external radar? How much of the bigger picture or the external environment do I know? And if I don't know it, I need to go find out. I cannot think small or be small-minded or think that life is about this table and this conversation or this task that I have been given to do. It connects to something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger that takes you all the way out. So go back outside and be aware of what is going on around you and bring that in. And that's why I start with this simple phrase, which is outside in. The second thing is to embrace the courage to think differently. Oftentimes, we sit around a table, or we have a task, or we have a challenge that we need to work with or work through. And we think about it only in the context of what we have seen, or what somebody is doing, or how somebody is thinking and approaching it. Every day I look around me. I remember the first time I was going to learn how to drive. And I tried, I think it was my husband who was trying to teach me or coach me. And it was a very terrible experience. We came back home that day and he was talking and complaining and talking about how bad I was with trying and how difficult it was. I wasn't grasping the idea. I remember saying to myself and looking out and seeing bus drivers, downful bus drivers who didn't go to school driving this thing. And I remember saying to myself, if these people can drive, why can't I drive? Why is it so hard? And as simple as driving a car is the same way this idea of strategic thinking is not the right of any human on this planet. Anybody can be strategic. I don't think that it's only some special people who went to Harvard who have the capacity to be strategic, because it's simple and oftentimes it's common sense. But a lot of times we don't have the courage to think outside the box, to ask the question why, to try and connect things that normally you won't connect because you want to play safe. Inside of strategic thinking is risk, is experimentation, is trying new things, is asking the question why, is connecting things and looking at them slightly different. We do it every day when you are trying to put up put your outfit together and go out. You mix and match, you connect things and clash it and step back from it and ask yourself, does it make sense? It's the same exact thing. Think differently. Have the courage to approach tasks, challenges, and opportunities and see it differently. And it takes courage, because sometimes it's always often easier to follow what everyone else is doing and do the same thing. We are Nigerians, we know that's our MO. Yeah? Take the courage to think differently. The next thing, because that courage, and on this point, I double click on the word courage, because it is that courage that will lead you into finding new ideas, because ideas are inside of imagination, and imagination comes from you taking and embracing that courage to think differently. And open up your mind and be free to imagine. Enjoy the opportunity to dream. And I don't want to stay in this theory land for too long. And I am choosing not to be descriptive or technical about this thing, because strategic thinking is not rocket science. It's around you. You have the capacity to do it. Sometimes we just don't. We don't have the courage to try. So explore ideas and let your imagination go wild. There's nothing wrong with getting it wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. If you don't explore that courage, if you don't just push yourself to think slightly differently, you will not uncover new things. You will be in that average city and that average land. And trust me, it's not rocket science. The next thing is continuous learning. And I'm sure you have heard this 1 million times. Learning does not end. It's a continuous journey. Make sure that you're paying attention to what is going on around you. If there's something new you need to learn, go ahead and learn it. It doesn't have to be an MBA. It can be inside of your category. It can be around a problem that they have asked you to solve. It can be about an issue that you're going through, or something that is a pain point in your industry or in your career. You can see what your organization is struggling with. Find out a little bit more about that, so that it gives you ammunition to be more than the ordinary, to be more than ordinary, to bring something new to the table, to be different. Because again, I come back to it, anybody can be strategic. You just need to embrace the courage to think differently and explore the edges and come out of the small, simple mold that everybody is sitting in and go to the edges and go farther out. Learning does not stop, no matter how old you are, no matter where you have got to. And you can learn from anybody. And it's not just about going to school or reading a book. You can learn from your colleagues, up, down, left, right. Learning is always around us. The next thing I wanted to leave you with is you are not a superhero. Nobody is. I don't believe in superheroes. I believe in the power of teams. I believe in the power of tribes. Because if you expect everything to come from within you, it will be limited. Because as an individual or as one person, you can only go as far. I am I'm a big believer in tribes. I'm a big believer in creative hubbing and finding partners in crime and building a relationship with them and solving problems together. We are very different, and all of us have superpowers in different shapes and forms. You have to learn how to build your team. And I am not talking about being someone has called you the manager or the line manager. I'm not talking about official leader and team. I'm talking about tribes. And your tribe can be your son, can be your daughter, can be your friend, can be your girlfriend, can be someone who shares a hunger and a similar passion or an interest in that particular area that you want to thrive in. Build your tribe, and build tribe with people who inspire you, tribes with people who make you think, people who make you and fuel your hunger. Build your tribe, because you are not a superhero. Of course, you'll acknowledge them, but you will learn from them, and iron will sharpen iron. And inside of that iron that is sharpened is where strategic thinking continues to build, because the richness in your mind and your brain just becomes richer, and your thinking starts to open up, and it shows up everywhere and in all the things that you touch, because you're constantly raising your game. You're not a superhero. You're not alone. So find your tribe. I'll start to now navigate from here into this idea of emotional intelligence. And let's talk about it a little bit. And earlier on, Bodan was talking about this thing that they say emotional, and they describe it as a disease. Emotion is not a problem. Even Jesus showed emotion when he went into the temple and crashed things and kicked people out of the temple. He couldn't have done that if it wasn't emotion. Inside of emotion is power. Inside of emotion is power, and I say that again. So this whole thing that when we talk about emotional intelligence, the way I like to look at it is emotional intelligence represents someone who is in control of their own power. It is how well you are in control of your power, because we are women, we are girls, and emotion is part of how we are wired, and people call it emotion. Sometimes I call it passion. I don't care what you call it, but emotion in itself is power. The question is, what do you do with it? A lot of times we take emotion and we mix it with self-pity, or mix it with damsel in distress syndrome, and then it becomes a derailer. You take emotion and you turn it into a power by translating the energy that it gives you into outcome, into being heard, into being articulate, into demanding what you want and what you think is the right thing to do. So bring your power and your strength into your emotion. Yeah? Bring your power and your strength into your emotion and use it. So don't take emotion and put it aside and leave it at home. I don't think it's a problem. I know a few people have said to me, and it is so true. And this whole thing about what you do and how you play your emotion is a personal thing, if you ask me, because I know there are people who have said, no, you have to act like a man and be at the table and talk like and behave like and put your emotion aside. I don't believe that. I am very, very much in touch with my emotion, but I am also very, very in touch with my power. The two of them come as a single package. Yeah? So you are the change that you need to see. Start from there. You are the change that you need to see. Whatever the change that you're trying to create in the world and around you, or the impact that you're trying to create, it starts from within you and what you believe about yourself, which is the next slide. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe? What do you believe about yourself? Because you are yourself's number one cheerleader. What you don't believe about yourself, you cannot create. So first of all, go back to the mirror. Look into that mirror and ask yourself, who am I? And if you don't like what you see, if you would like to change something about that thing, about that picture, write it down. Write for yourself, first of all, who you are. But don't write or do it in pretense. Put down what you know, what you want, or who you want to be, what you want to believe. Write that, paint that picture, and stay with that picture until you know it in your heart that this is who I am, and this is where I want to go, and this is what I want to be. Some of it might be scary. It might be a little daunting. It may be so far away from what you want or who you want to be or how you think you're operating. But if you can believe your capacity to attain that thing, if you can believe your ability to rise up to the challenge, maybe not You can't see how you will get there, but at least you trust yourself enough that there is enough hunger inside of you to go after it. That's enough. So start with self-belief. Start with self-belief. And give yourself the permission to go after that image that you see in the picture. Don't wait for someone to give you permission. Don't wait for someone to say it's okay, you can achieve it. If you are not convinced that you can be better or move from A to Z, it will take you longer to get there. Yes, the affirmation, external affirmation is good and it will help, but it starts with what you believe. So go and fix that picture that you are seeing in that mirror. Fix it. Go back to that mirror and paint the picture that you want to see and the person you want to be, so that you start from there and people will come to you. Come to that picture with you. The next thing, of course, grow yourself. Grow yourself. Grow yourself. Don't wait for it. And if you need something from anybody, don't be afraid to ask. Pick up your phone, call that person who is great at something and does something better than you and ask them, how do you do this thing? Can you help me with this? I want to learn this thing. Where can I learn it from? Grow yourself. Grow yourself. The next thing, listen faster than the fastest talking person in the room. The problem with us sometimes is that we're talking too much and we're too loud. And when I mean loud, I mean our head space is cluttered with noise. Or we want to speak, and sometimes we just speak and we have nothing to say. It's actually better sometimes to just listen. Because when you listen, you can really hear what the other person is saying. You can observe what is going around in the room. You will notice the posture. You will notice the body language. You will notice what is unsaid. Because we're talking about emotional intelligence, isn't it? Earlier on, I talked about embracing your emotion and your power and being in control of it and removing damsel in distress and self-pity, because that's what makes it destructive. So remove that. But listen so that you can read the room on the next slide. So that you can read the room and be on top of what is going on and not a victim. You need to be fully and self-aware and be centered. And I know it sounds like it is hard work. It is not. It's not that hard. It starts from being in control of what you want, who you want to be, and that picture, and constantly coming back to it. And some days will be good, some will not be too good, because you will forget yourself and act the way we have been, just be really rallying, and doing all of that. Yeah, sometimes you will forget yourself, but you keep trying and keep trying. You will keep trying again and get better and better and better and better. Of centering by yourself and staying in the room, but in control of how you are in that room. Navigating what you get out of the room and how you come to the room by what you want to be, not as a victim. So you walk into a room and things are happening and everybody's saying, and it's just like you feel that you're in Bass Booth. Everyone is throwing things at you and you're running helter-skelter. Stop. Calm down. Read the room. Hold the mirror up and be true to yourself. Don't pretend and tell yourself lies, because oftentimes the truth is around us. The feedback is around us and it is very obvious. But because we are so loud in our heads, or because we are talking more than we are listening, we don't see it and we miss it. So calm down. I used to have a simple trick. I always have a piece of paper and a pen in my hand in some of those circumstances. And I know the analogy of a meeting room keeps coming back, but it can be a meeting room, it can be out in the marketplace, it can be anywhere. So I find a way to center yourself. I use a pen and a piece of paper and I scribble. I use that to center myself, sometimes to gather my thoughts, because I'm listening to the room and I'm taking it all in and I'm mixing it with my own power so that I can deploy myself in the way I want to deploy myself. Not in a reactive way, but in a little bit more considered way, which is the next thing. Be considered. Before you go into that thing, as you go through that journey, as you go into that meeting, as you prepare for that piece of work, as you go through that challenge, or you have that task with the team, when you get back home in the evening, step back and sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to get out of this thing? Who do I want to be in this piece of work? What do I want as my outcome? And make a plan and tell yourself, I will do 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how I will deploy myself. I will come at this in this way. It's not that hard to plan how to deploy yourself a little bit more deliberately. That's what they call this thing called emotional intelligence. Because we all feel emotions. The difference is who is in control and how you deploy it. So be considered. Use yourself wisely. You are an asset. You, Adenike, you are an asset to Adenike. So when you release Adenike in the morning, be clear in your mind what you want out of Adenike by the time the day is done. Take stock when you come back. Did I do? Did I not? Where was I good? What? I think Motabo Abi. Where was it that I did well and where didn't I? Yeah. Be considered. Next. Find your mirrors and use them well. And this mirror is a different mirror. It's an external mirror. Find somebody in that room, in the world that you are in, that sees you in action, that has got your back. And tell them, this is the journey I am in. Someone you trust. It can be male, female. It doesn't have to be a girl. Anybody. Just tell them, I am on this journey and I want to move from here to here. In this year, this next 12 months, this is what I'm working on. Can you do me a favor? Give me feedback every 2 months. How am I doing? Am I getting better at it? Am I not? So find people around you that will hold the mirror up, that will tell you the truth. If you're on a journey with emotional intelligence, that will tell you the truth. No hanky-panky. Tell you exactly the truth. Find them. Some of us run away from those people who make a mistake because they are the ones who make us better. They are the ones that help us raise our game. So run towards the people that tell you hard things. Don't run away from them. Run towards them. If you don't have those kind of people in your life, it's harder to grow because you need those voices. You need the dissenting voices. You need the hard feedback to help you gauge how well you're doing. Contract with them and check in. This one you know, and you know very well, so I'm just preaching to the converted. Yeah? Build and keep your relationships. This is one that I'm still working on. I'm not going to lie. I'm not great at it. In fact, I am terrible. So it's a work in progress. I'm not perfect in all of these things that I'm saying because I'm still on a journey myself. But build and keep relationships because they always will help and they'll be useful along the line. And actually, Buddha was talking about loyalty. They will always pay back. Yoruba say, "Eni olasho me." It's so true. Last one, and this one is my favorite. Most of all, to your own self be true. You can lie to anybody. You can pretend with anybody. You can pretend in anything and with anybody. But honestly, if you're lying to yourself, that's the biggest, I think it's the saddest thing for me, as far as I'm concerned, when you can't tell yourself the truth. So be to your own self, be true. Be true to yourself. Be centered around who you are, what your boundaries are, and navigate by it. You'll be all right. Don't compromise your values just because you want to get ahead. It doesn't last. Because after a while, you won't be satisfied. You won't be happy. So stay true to yourself. Know your boundaries. Navigate by your own values and enjoy your journey. It's not how fast often, it's actually how well. And how well is how connected you remain to your values, to the things deep down that give you true joy. Don't ever lose that. That's it. And I hope that was useful.
Yes. Adenike, my goodness. I have how many pages now? 1, 2, 3. I have 4 pages of notes. Oyomi was messaging me like, but I'm tired. I was like, I can't stop her. I don't want to because, me, I'm getting so many things. I felt, ladies, let me know how you feel. Yeah, was it useful? Was it, I feel validated. Wow is the word, actually. At a point, I feel like crying. I'm like, why do you want to cry? I don't know. Thank you. This was just so beautiful. Yeah, it was really, really great. Thank you. Okay. So I saw your breathless. Why am I hearing myself again? I don't know. Okay. So I saw a few comments. We're going to start from that. And then, ladies, if you have any questions for Adenike, please pop it in the comments section. Pop it in the comment section for me and we will take it. But yes, I'm seeing all the, look at that. I just got a mentor that doesn't know me. I want to show you some of the comments we're getting here. Someone says, it resonated with me in a lot of ways. Very powerful, succinct, and packed. The authenticity. This is why I love Adenike. Her authenticity is authentic. It was warm, relatable, practical, amazing session. I'm in the place of destiny. Thank you. Beautiful. I mean, on and on and on. The comments just keep on coming. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Adenike. All right. So I'm going to start. If you have questions, pop it for me. I'm going to answer the questions. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to ask the questions, and Adenike is going to answer the questions. But I'm going to start with the ones that I'd start here. Someone had asked that does thinking differently have to involve taking risks?
Does it have to
involve taking risks?
Not necessarily. It's not. I don't think so. I don't think sometimes there's no risk involved. It's just sometimes, sometimes in our minds we are lazy, yeah, to think. Do you understand? It's like because the safe route is the safe route. Everybody is. Let me see. Everybody is. What is the newest fad in Lagos these days? Bo. There's something everybody is doing. Let us all do the same thing. I think thinking differently is as simple as thinking differently. Just going to the edges. Sometimes there are obvious things around us, and it's okay to go obvious. Sometimes if you push yourself to go to the edges a little, I like to call it the edges, and go a little bit further in terms of the why. And actually, sometimes it's just as simple as challenging yourself. I need to do something different. I want to go and I want to bring an idea to the table that's different, and I'm going to force myself to think. Just force yourself to think. It doesn't always have to include risk. To be honest, it doesn't.
Fantastic. Thank you. I have another question on here where she says, I think it's Victoria says, how do you know when to control your emotions? So she's asking the question about when you were speaking about, having the power in your emotions. So she's asking, how do you know when to control your emotions and when do you just let it rip? Is there a time where it's valid to let your emotions just go wild? How do you know when to rein in or when not to rein in, as the case may be?
I think often it's about thinking about the impact of the expression of the emotion first before you express it is the trick. So, we talked about reading the room and looking at the signals that are around you. So before you feel emotion, we all feel it first, then you express it. Most of the time, what we do is when we feel that emotion, we start from, look at what they are doing to me. Don't do that. Because if you start from there, you will react from a place of pain or from a place of self-pity. That's what I meant earlier on about damsel in distress, self-pity. Don't do that. Think about, how will my reaction land in the room? Will it give me the outcome that I need? Mm-hmm. Then you can take your emotion and package it into what you say and your reaction, but your reaction is different this time. You're not reacting from a place of pain and talking about what they did to you. You are passionate in your expression. You articulate the pain, and whether it is by saying, I don't agree, you have misrepresented the facts, you understand, you don't say, why would you say that type of thing to me? That is emotion and going nowhere. So think about how your reaction to the emotion you feel will land in the real world, and take control of it and express your emotion in a way that gives you the outcome you want. That's the slight difference. Does that make sense? No?
It makes sense to me. It will be great to know if it makes sense to Victoria as well.
Yeah.
But thank you. Okay, fantastic. Let me see. Okay, there's this question on here. And she's asking, Temitope is asking around courage. And she's saying, how do you build courage? That she thinks that's her biggest struggle. She finds herself getting stuck in analysis paralysis because of the fear of uncertainty.
It's very funny. And first of all, the fact that you recognize that this is a challenge, you're almost out. So pat yourself on the back. Back to this thing of, what do you believe? Who are you? Give yourself a pat on the back because you recognize this. There's a trick I play, and I'll tell you my own trick. I don't know the answer to that question because everyone is different. So I tell myself, I say, Adenike, what's the worst that will happen? I'm in analysis paralysis. And analysis paralysis means you're keeping your options open and you're juggling. And you don't want to take a position. You don't want to, go for it. So I say to myself, Adenike, what's the worst that will happen? Okay. So I face that worst case scenario. I look it in the eye. Say, shut up. That's what will happen. Okay. Then I make my call and I take my decision. I guess it's a tactic I use to shock myself out of inertia. I don't know if you get me. So
yes,
risk is part of who we are, but in that journey of getting or making wrong decisions, we learn, we grow. So that tactic of facing the worst case scenario and looking it in the eye and embracing the fact that that's the worst that will happen. They will sack me. I won't have a job. Marry me. I will find another job. 3 months time, I will find that. I have that conversation with myself. So, is that the worst that you are going to do? Okay, no problem. Oh yeah. And then I get on with it. So I think I use that tactic actually to shock myself out of fear and to embrace risk a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I actually really, really love it. Literally, just what's the worst thing that would happen? And thank you so much, Temitope, for asking that question. Yeah, because I think a lot of us as women, we know how to play all the different sides of the fence. We're like, okay, and if I do this, what would they say? What would they think about me? Then what will happen here? Then what is the worst thing that would happen? I love it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, fantastic. So the questions are pouring in. All right, we're here for this. Now, Angelina, I'm going to put up her question. She says, sometimes I'm quiet and observing. People seem to be wondering what's wrong and all of that. And it forces me to give in, and then I'm all over the place again. How do I learn to deal with that?
Simply tell them, I am processing. I need a minute. do this thing on your own terms. You are the light and the navigator of Adenike. Nobody else is doing it for you. So if someone forces you into action before you are ready, you will constantly catch your tail. So if you are processing, tell them you are processing. Give me a minute. Let me sleep over it. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, maybe he's a boss who is saying, okay, I'm not going to give you time to think over it. Say, okay, I am not ready, but I will shoot from the hip and I will share what I am thinking right now. But I haven't fully processed it. I probably will change my mind by tomorrow, but let me give you my thoughts in the meantime. But tell them that you are processing, if that is what you're doing. Nobody is going to take you to the bank, to jail for that. Sorry.
They can take us to the bank, but they won't take us to jail. I love it. I'm processing. Where do we? Sometimes we make such a big mountain out of a molehill, isn't it? I'm processing. I'm going to tell you something now, but I might change my mind by tomorrow. I'm processing. Okay. I love it. All right, cool. Now, Bukola says, having passed being courageous, how do you bring your ideas and imaginations to birth? So how do you now birth the ideas and imaginations when you've gone through the stage of being courageous?
I think there's something people call storytelling. Yeah, storytelling is often very useful and important. So, because between ideas and reality is execution, isn't it? And sometimes it's not up to you. You need approval, you need funding, you need a tribe to help you execute it. You need to be able to tell that story, that idea story, in such a way that you can get the buy-in and take it all the way to and bring it to reality. I don't think there is a one size fits all, but I think you should be able to tell your story with conviction. Of course, your ideas have to be rooted in substance. It's not pie in the sky, something that you say just for the sake of it, because again, that's counterproductive. But be sure to be able to tell your story, because when you tell your story and it is compelling and grounded, i.e. your idea is substantial and doable, or we can experiment, you will get the buy-in you need, because I'm guessing it's not all up to you, except if you are, you're an entrepreneur, you're running your business, then you go and find the money and get on with it. Start small, start big, whatever it is, you experiment, you learn, you go for it. For me, ideas into execution is tell the story if you need the money, or just get on with it and learn.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to take this one because I love it. I'm going to take hopefully all the questions, right? So come in early, because I will not hear once our time for questions is over. But I love this one because she's 18. And Victoria says, I'm 18 years old. And at my age, are there any leadership qualities that I should look up to? And just before Adenike answers that question, I want to say, Victoria, well done for joining this summit. Well done for being here. I'm just really giving you a hand. Okay, Adenike, over to you.
That's such a very interesting question. To be honest, Victoria, I don't think that the leadership qualities that we should hunger for should change whether we are 18 or 50. Let me just start from there. I don't think so. I think that in the end, leadership is about first leading yourself and recognizing what it takes to get what you need from others, and helping them and deploying yourself and your relationship with them to get that outcome.
No, Adenike, I'm gonna have to say that again. It's too good for you not to say again.
Okay, let me try. Leadership is first leading yourself. Secondly, is recognizing what you need from the people around you to create a change that you desire. This is the second thing. The third thing is to take you that you lead and deploy you in the context of these people in such a way that they follow you towards that thing.
So good.
Simple. No? Is it not simple?
Hey.
So you are 18.
Mm.
What do you want? Where do you want to see yourself? Where would you see yourself in when you are 40, 30, whatever? What will you look and feel like? What will you be going at? What will you be desiring? Or where would you be? Think now. What do I need to do with me, 18-year-old Victoria? Yeah. What do I need to do? What do I want from the people around me in service of that picture, of that Victoria that I desire? How am I going to walk the two, them and me, to make that picture come to life? Anything that comes to your mind in that context that's true to who you are and your values, for me, is leadership. And I don't know if I've answered your question, but lead yourself first by deploying how you use you as an asset in the context of the people around you to get to where you want to get to. It may sound complicated, but I hope it lands.
It's landed for me. Victoria, let me know it's landed for you. No, I love the
Victoria,
definition.
please.
I'm waiting for her to type it. I know it'll take her a few seconds. Yeah, but I love it's a 3-step thing that you've broken down. Number 1 is leading ourselves, me. And then 2, understanding what the other people, sort of need and all of that. And then putting myself in that context to influence them to get what it is I want. It sounds complete. It sounds simple, actually. It's not simple in reality, but in actual fact, it sounds simple. And I would lean on this particular question and ask the second question, because Ojola is saying that what's the most important thing in your career? But she says sometimes, and I'm speaking to this because you've said, leadership is, yes, we're leading ourselves, but it's also about putting ourselves in the context of these other people and then making them buy into what we want. And she's saying sometimes when she wants to execute her project, she has to get in the buy-in of other units. And it feels like because it's not in their KPIs, it's not a priority for them. But her projects will help the overall success of the business, and it's also an overall strategic objective. So she's just asking how to navigate that, and how do we really decide what is the most important thing in our career? Should we just focus on things that we know we can only do by ourselves, or how to pull it in? I think that's her question.
I think in our career, you start first by getting ahead with the things that need you, you can do by yourself. So you're a one-man riot, you get on well, you can make things happen. But as you grow and in your career, you have to work and lead and deliver through people. I think for her, and I can't remember who asked the question. What's her name?
Ojola.
So for Ojola, I think my counsel will be, what is in it for them? So if you believe that what you're doing or your objective, if you're, and it doesn't always have to be, but let me start from there. If your objective is for the greater good and everyone will benefit, including the organization, but you need other departments to come to the table and they are not, find out what it's in it for them and make them see it or help them to see it. And if there's nothing in it for them, which could be the case, what do they need? What can you help them do? Because it's back to this whole idea of relationships. Because you can get your outcome from anybody or from these guys, from other departments, either by helping them see where you guys are joined at the hip so that you buy in from there and then they support you. And your leadership and everything that you are, including your emotional intelligence, will help you get to it. Because this is not a class that tells us everything. You can take that approach, or you simply find what it is they need and help them solve that. One of the things I used to do, or I still do, is in the context of thinking about the full and the big picture of what we are trying to create, I realized that in order for my objective to for me to achieve my objective. Somebody else needs to do theirs. And actually, there is something in their way. There's something preventing them from doing their own. And then as a result, I can't do mine. There is somebody in that whole big pie that owns them and owns me. Are you following me? I will go to them and I will say to them, we need your help. Department A is struggling because you haven't provided X. The reason why I'm telling him is because I need Y from Department A, but I will take that leadership and the freedom. And this is thinking outside the box. It goes back to this point around big picture. I will go back to the person who controls their outcome, and I will try and help them open up the barrier or break that barrier. But I'll do it from a place of joint ownership. I am not trying to make them look bad, but actually what that also helps you do is practice big picture thinking, owning the big picture and owning the bigger organization versus your little pie, or you thinking about you want to do your own thing, they're not helping you, you are mourning in that place. No, step out of that thing. Have the courage to think bigger, solve the bigger problem in order to bring the Pope home.
Oh gosh, Adenika, I love it. Thank you. Jola, let's know if that helped you in the comment section. All right, I'm moving right along. Oyedola says, how do you grow in courage, especially when you're in uncharted territories?
I think go and learn a little bit. You understand? If you're in territories that you're not comfortable in and unfamiliar, you just need to learn. Pick up a book, understand the subject, get better at it. So I think that would be the first thing to do, because you can't build courage inside of ignorance. That is just a car crash. Yeah, it's a car crash that is about to happen. So courage cannot come out of ignorance. So go and learn the thing, understand it, unpack it, understudy somebody, explore. And as you explore, but come at it with an open mind, with an inquisitive questioning spirit. So as you learn, they tell you we go from A to B to Z to X. Why can't we go from A to Z? So that's how your own courage and your creativity, and you can add your own magic to what they already do. But start first by trying to understand it.
I love it. Thank you. Let's learn. Okay, for Jola says that was fantastic. That it helped her. Very insightful. Okay, awesome.
Cool. I need to find out from Victoria that she's fine.
I'm looking. Team, if you help me find Victoria's comment, I'm trying to find it, but I'm multitasking, so I cannot. So if you just look, and if she's put a comment, just draw my attention, put it in start so I see it, right? Okay, thank you. Now someone's talking about failure. Ulufunke is talking about failure. She says, after failure, how do you go again, especially when you don't feel motivated?
We all have that, and we experience that every once in a while in our life, and sometimes too frequently. But even the Bible says the righteous sin 70 times 7. and you will be forgiven. Sorry, I'm quoting Bible. And I know I quoted it wrongly. Pick yourself up.
Bottom line.
Pick yourself up. Yes, go home, cry a little. Find out your girlfriend, or if it's your boyfriend or your sister or anybody that can rub your back and make you feel a little bit. Do it. Come back tomorrow, pick yourself up. Everybody fails, everybody falls. We all make mistakes, but what you try and do is make sure that you don't keep making the same mistakes. So learn from it. Sit down, look at the thing and say, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? Was I presumptuous? Was I too ambitious? Was there not enough rigor in my thinking? Was it lacking in depth and in clarity? Was it that I didn't have the right talent or the right people to help me on the journey? Figure out why you failed that particular time so that you don't repeat it. But pick yourself up. Wear your clothes in the morning, put your makeup on. Oh yeah, round 2.
Okay, fantastic. I love it. Fail forward. Yep, fail, but fail forward. Pick yourself up, cry. So, do you know when Adenike was speaking earlier on about building your tribe and building teams and building your tribe? This is part of why you need your tribe, because if not, I don't know who you're going to be crying to, right? You have to have your tribe and you have to be deliberate about building relationships and building your own tribe. Okay, fantastic. I have another one here. Okay, Temitaya says, when you were constantly told no as a child and compared, you then realize you did things to please your parents and your siblings. How do you now find courage and validation in your decisions?
No, and this is a big disease we have. First as girls and then as African girls. And trust me, I can relate because I work and live in the UK now. This voice at the back of your head that tells you no and tells you are not good enough is a lie. It's a lie. And there's nobody, I don't know if there are any books that help, but I do know one thing, that the mirror is very effective. And I know it sounds very ridiculous, almost stupid and unbelievable, but I know it works for me. Like I talk to myself. When something says to me, you can't, I say I can and I will. Watch me. And I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to the voice in my own head. I don't know if you can relate with this. Guys, this thing works. It is for real. It's not rocket science. You are not mad. Practice it first. Okay. Practice it first. And then come back and tell Bo, maybe in a year's time, whether it worked or it didn't work. Just practice. Telling that voice to shut up. I can. I will. Watch me.
So good.
Watch me. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to that voice at the back of my head that's telling me you're not good enough, or you can't, or shut up. I can, I will. Watch me. So try.
I can, I will. Watch me. The mirror is very effective. Talk to yourself. Even I am going to be taking that one, right? I can, I will. Watch me. I love it. Okay. NG Roberts says, most times she tends to ramble when suddenly asked to speak because she's nervous. How can she practically center herself and gather her thoughts before speaking?
I do this a lot too, MG. So trust me, we are in the same boat. We are not far from each other. But I have a simple tactic. I use my pen and my biro. I write. I scribble and I gather my thoughts. Some of us are better. Like there's some of us, like I didn't go to the best schools. I told you I grew up in the barracks. I am not the best at English. It's not also my first language. So I don't delude myself to think that I can construct this thing and I am 100% articulate all the time. I stutter sometimes because I haven't fully processed the thoughts in my head and therefore I'm not articulating myself well. So I have a simple trick that I use that helps me. I scribble. In the moment, like the conversation is going on and I know they will ask me, as it is happening in that moment, because I know it's going to come and I need to form a view. I'm listening, but I'm writing down my thoughts. I'll write my scattered thoughts on a simple piece of paper and I will quickly scrub. Sometimes I'll write 1, 2, 3, kind of where I will go from, literally. I will do that. I will write rubbish. It's all rubbish, but I will number it on a simple piece of paper to gather my own thoughts. And that way it helps me to be a bit more succinct and clearer. So you can do that. And even when they ask you to speak and you're not ready, say, Can somebody else go? I need a minute to gather my thoughts.
Mm.
Let me think this through. And if you're shooting from the hip, you have no choice. Shoot from the hip. It's okay. Do you understand? It's okay. But don't make it a practice of just blabbing. Because you get labeled as the person who just blabbed. Because that's the other thing we do. We just open our mouth and start talking and we are saying nothing. You've been speaking for like 1 minute. People are looking at each other. They don't know what you said because you just feel compelled to speak. Don't do that. It's better not to say anything sometimes. Keep it so that when you package, when you open that mouth, they know that something juicy is about to come out. It doesn't have to be how many times you do that. When you are recognized as the person that when you speak, there is wisdom inside. Even that in itself is a brand. It's not how many times. It's back to this, when earlier we were talking about be considered. Bring 100% of yourself to the conversation and to that issue. There is juice inside it. You are amazing the way you are. What happens sometimes is we keep one side on the other side here and bring only 30% to work. That 30% is not enough for you to shine. So bring the 100% and apply that, your family, your conversation with your uncle, bring it all and let it help you to shine and to be unique in your own way and in your own right. Do that.
Love it. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. I'm going to take the final 4 questions and I'm looking at the questions now. So don't type your own question because your question will be number 5 and I'm not going to take it. So final 4 questions that I'm going to take. Catherine is saying, I'm going to take one last question. So fastest fingers, one last question, make it 5. Catherine says, how do I build a tribe? That it's been quite hard trying to build community or even gather people together.
Sorry, I missed that. I was busy looking at the chat.
So Catherine is asking how she can build a tribe, that it's quite hard pulling people together or even building this community. So what practical steps can she take to build a tribe?
I think you can start by asking who are the people that share the same interest and passion. And they don't have to be in your organization. It's not in that box of the people you see around you. They're just good brains. People who share the same passion, who feel the same way about the same topic, are interested in it. Some of them know it more than you. Or sometimes they are just complete outsiders. But they are good banter. Are you with me? They bring something to the table. They help you push your thinking. They challenge you a little bit. They make you want to push, go a little bit further into the edge. Bring them into the tribe. It's not about the number of people in the tribe. Sometimes it's just 2-3 people. But it is what they do to you that matters. It's where they make you want to go that matters. Is how they make you think and how they take your little and add magic. That's what you need in your tribe. So your tribe is your tribe. You make it what you want. You look for the people by yourself and find them from anywhere. It doesn't have to be people who are studying the same subject. It can be somebody in technical, bring one person in marketing, or go home. Like my son is in my tribe of work. I'm just saying. Do you understand? Because there is inputs that I get from bantering something that I am working through with him that helps me make it better. He's in the tribe. So the tribe is what you make it and what they do to you and make you want to do.
I love it. Catherine, let me know if that was helpful to you or helpful for you. Okay, Lami says, how do you deal with constantly worrying about what other people think of you? How can you really develop a healthy self-esteem?
Remember when we started earlier on and we said, believe in you. I know I started from there because I think only you can do that for yourself. Yes, we can listen to the kingdom come, to what people think about us and say about us, because we are human beings. We are. And we don't live in limbo. We are affected by what people say and what people think about us. But you have to choose what's important and who is important and whose opinion matters more than the other. And if you are able to find and bring yourself to the place where your own opinion is what matters most, that's better for you. And honestly, my darling, it is a choice. It is a choice. Whose opinion matters to you. So you have to coach yourself to get to a point where how you feel about yourself matters to you more than what other people think about you. I am not saying ignore feedback when it's coming and when it is useful, when it is to grow you. But and sometimes feedback is painful, and that means that you need to rise above it and take it in. And I need you guys to hear the difference between the two. But when the voices, external voices, take your energy or steal your power, then that's what you don't allow. And similarly, like you will say to that voice in your head, I will, watch me. Say it to those. I will, watch me.
Oh, so good. I love it. Yeah.
I don't know if that helps. Just let me know.
Please let me know if that helps. Because I like when you said only you can do that for yourself. And I think it boils down to the very first thing you said, Adenike, and I wrote it down, what your daddy said to you. And he said, really just taking the responsibility. How did he say? Taking that responsibility for
yourself.
For yourself, essentially. And it boils down to that, taking that responsibility for yourself. I think that was just so powerful. Okay. Final two questions. Now, Yvonne says, how do you manage to settle in the United Kingdom in a completely new environment with a different culture? What helps you go through difficult days?
I don't know what helps you go through difficult days is, I think the question, one of the things that helps me is this: why am I here? What am I doing here? What's my higher order? What is this in service of? That helps. I never lose sight of that. Number two, another thing is, I am Adenike, I am Nigerian, I am a Black woman. I can't change that, and I don't wanna. I embrace that full power and I bring it to bear because that's what makes me different. Yeah. So I'm not going to copy and be like everybody else around me because I can't do that better than them. But I can do a brilliant job of being me, or I have a better chance of being better at being me than at being somebody else. So my higher order is never in view. I stay true to myself and enjoy the journey. Find friends around, find people who you will vibe with. I don't know, but it's back to this thing of you wake up every day and so bring it on. You enjoy that journey, you learn, you come back and you're like, okay, how was today? Okay. Tomorrow, because it's not it's not a sprint. This thing is a journey, and we choose to enjoy the journey. We embrace the thing that life throws at us, and we give it our best and trust God to do the rest. But never allowing victim mode, I think, is another thing not to ever forget. Because the moment we get into that point where we're feeling like victims, helpless, oh, the world is doing this and that to me. We incapacitate ourselves. So you need to just not accommodate that self-pity, to be honest. It's a waste of you. God gave you a gift in yourself, which is you. You are your own gift. When you sit down in self-pity, you are wasting that gift. Get out of self-pity.
Get out of self-pity. Hashtag get out of self-pity. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. And final question from Esther is asking if you can recommend any book that will help us take bold steps to approach the people we admire. And if you can't recommend a book, I would also say, what bold steps can we take to approach people that we admire? So if somebody sees an Adenike or sees, I don't know, Hillary Clinton or whoever it is, how can we approach them confidently?
Just approach them. I find today with social media, the world is such a such a flat place. I was listening to a podcast recently, these two guys who are doing really amazing things in business, and they were talking about how the kinds of people that reach out to them on social media through DM. And I learned a very interesting lesson from it. And they said every day they get millions of messages on their DM. And one of them said something like, I used to respond to every single one. And when I respond, and I'm going somewhere with this, I know our time is up. And when I respond, I often start first by asking them to do something small. Because people reach out and say, hey, I need you to mentor me. I need you to do this. Okay. I'll ask them to do something small. And not one ever came back to me. These days, I find the people that cut through are the ones who approach me with something they want, but also with something they can do for me or with me. So ask. Be bold. Just take boldness or courage is a choice. It's not something that somebody will bless you, lay hands on you and anoint you. All of a sudden you are courageous. It's a choice. It's a simple decision. You wake up, you say, I will talk to President Biden. I'm sorry. It's not rocket science. Courage, boldness is not hands on you. It's a choice. You decide, I want to do X. Just do it. Otto. However, I am also adding to that when it comes to people who are busy, who are very influential, and a lot of people are asking them favors, and maybe you've decided that's where, or the person you want to mentor you, try asking them for something or to help you, but do it in such a way that you give them, you offer some help for something you think they might need. Look at what they are doing. Follow them or whatever. Discover a problem that is going on there and send them a suggestion. Or to say, by the way, I saw this. I thought it was really good. I would like to, whatever. What's that will say? They will say it's no. You will move on and find another one. Is it going to gum on your body? No.
Ladies and ladies, I don't know how you're feeling in this moment. Let me know in the comment section. But I am feeling, now I'm not going to tell you my word. I'm going to tell you my word after. But you let me know how you're feeling. We've spent about an hour with Adenike, a little over an hour with Adenike. And let me know how you are feeling. Let me know the words that are coming to your mind, are coming to your heart. I saw something, and when they were asking for book recommendations, someone put this up, and I'm laughing. Go and get Beautiful if you have not purchased it. Right, go and get it. I love it. Angie says it's been so good for her. Authentic responses, so good, inspiring. Oluwatomisin says, Catherine says she feels fulfilled. I get it. I actually feel fulfilled as well. Ololade says she's coming for me. I'm waiting for you. Ojola says peace, exactly what she needed. Peace as she revolutionizes. Amazing, amazing. Love the courage from her voice. Yes, yes, yes. Courage was a big one. Let me know. Keep these responses coming. And this has been soul stirring. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Soul stirring. That's a beautiful one. It's refreshing. I'm seeing refreshing coming through a couple of times as well. Thank you so much, ladies. Keep those responses coming in as to how you have felt today. Victoria feels so blessed. Victoria, welcome back. We're looking for you earlier on. She's so blessed today. Fantastic. I'm glad that the session was insightful and impactful for you. Adenike, thank you so much. I wish we could just sit here over, and just keep on going. But I'm mindful that, we have to wrap up now, and we have to let everybody go. I have to let you go. But thank you for saying yes. Thank you for coming on. Just thank you for being the person that you are. Thank you for the authenticity that you brought to the table today, and just your bringing your heart. I think everybody has seen your heart. I'm just reading some of the comments. It's really inspiring and really beautiful. So thank you so much. Yeah.
It was my pleasure, and well done for all the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Well done.
All right.
And thank you, everyone, for all of the kind comments. Thank you.
You are welcome, ladies. My goodness, we're going to wrap up in just a few minutes. But before we do, we're doing 2 or 3 things before we do. First off, let me know your action points from today. Remember, I said at the beginning, we're leaning towards action bias, right? So I'm not just here to bring you these inspiring women, these female leaders who are doing great things. That's one thing. I'm here to help you lean towards action bias. So pop it for me in the comment section. All the things Adenike has said today, from being true to your own self, from finding the mirror and using it well, right? From understanding that you're an asset and understanding how to deploy yourself, from being considered, from centering yourself, from notes and reading the room, right? From growing yourself, all the things that she said. Who am I? Starting with what you believe, being in touch with you, emotion, all of those things. You are the change you need to see. What is your action point from today? What is your one thing that you're going to take from this session to say, listen, I attended day 1 of the Refined Lady Summit, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this change. I'm going to do this research. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to connect with this person. What is your one thing? I want to read from you in the comment section. Esther says she's setting actionable goals by making a to-do list for each day. I love it. Angie Roberts says she's going to listen more, articulate her thoughts properly, and speak confidently with 100% of her authentic self. I love it. Catherine's action point. Yes, I love this one. I don't know why the thing keeps on going. Who is pressing with me? Catherine's action point is, I can, I will, watch me. Okay, Oyomi, I'm handing over to you. Sorry. I can, I will, watch me. Also, she needs to start taking responsibility for herself. Bam, bam, bam. Listen, that I can, I will, watch me is a big deal. That's part of my own action points, right? Oluwatomisin says, I'll believe in myself on a different level from today. I love it. Sefer says, post my thoughts on LinkedIn. I will force myself to think about a new idea. So good. Oluremi says, I'm going to be intentional about the relationships I build. Amazing. Olua Damilola says, my action point is that I begin to see myself as an asset and have it in my mind that I can and I will. I love it. Lami says her action point is I'm talking to myself in the mirror every day. I'm taking this one. Affirming myself. Yes, yes, yes. Buchi says, I intend to look in the mirror, scribble, shut up the negative self-talk with confident affirmation. Bam, bam, bam. Ojola said, okay, Napoleon says, Favor says, I will take the courageous step of reaching out to people I know I want to learn from. So good. Ojola says, I'm going to be more confident as I believe I'm doing the right thing, and this message reconfirms I'm on the right path. I love it. Victoria says, I'm going to start thinking differently and improve on my emotional intelligence. Ooh, Meg, yours just touched my heart in a special way. I'm just going to love me. Just love me. I love it. Okoyemi says, I'm taking my emotions as my power. Lami says, I will tell that voice I can. I will. Watch me do it whenever that voice says I cannot. Adeyeye says, I'm going to work more with my tribe and harness their various specialties. I love it. So good. Get out of self-pity. Ololade, I love to see it. I love to read it. I'm so glad this was insightful, impactful, relevant for you. I didn't want this session to end, as you can probably tell from the fact that, I was just glued and taking my own notes, and I'm going to spend some time listening to it again and again, right? So thank you so much for being present. Thank you for showing up in the comment section. I think we have two more things. The second thing is action point. I'm going to be intentional when it comes to listening more and talking less. I'm also going to be in touch with myself and know what exactly I want and begin to execute it. I love it. Mary, I'm seeing your action point as well. You'll be talking to yourself more, affirming yourself and being more courageous, beautiful. Temitope says she'll begin to shock herself out of inertia. That's a big one. And build knowledge in areas you're not confident about. I love it. I love it. I love it. Final task I'm going to give you, ladies. Remember, we said one of the reasons we're here is to network and to grow. We want to understand our tribe. Who is in our tribe? So I want you to sell yourself in the comment section. Tell us what you do and then put your LinkedIn handle there. I'm giving this open space. Tell us what you do and put your LinkedIn handle. If you're not on LinkedIn, put your Instagram handle on there so that people can follow you, right? Or people can send you connection messages on LinkedIn and say, hey, so and so from the Refined Ladies Summit. 3 minutes I'm going to give us. Type what it is you do or something interesting about yourself, and then put your LinkedIn handle in there or put your social media handle in there. So for example, you can say, my name is Lady Bodam. I build multinational brands for a living, and I also equip women with the tools they need to live 360 holistically fulfilling lives, right? I'm the founder of the Refined Ladies Summit. I am in enjoyment. I'm an enjoyment minister. Follow me on LinkedIn, www.linkedin.com/in/Bodam Taiwo. You need to put what you don't just say follow me. Why am I following you, Buchi? You put your Instagram. Why? Ojola, just your Instagram. Why? You have to tell us about you. And remember why this is important. A lot of the time, women don't take the opportunity to network, or the opportunities available to network and to sell ourselves. We're a bit uncomfortable with it. We feel as if, selling ourselves is, I don't want to boast. I don't want to be boastful. I don't want to show up as if. So I'm giving 2 minutes more. And maybe if I see 1 or 2 people who do it well enough, I'm going to spotlight you. And I will personally follow you if I'm not following you already, right? So let me know, who are you in the comment section, and tell me the handle Bodam should follow you on. Talk to me. One second more. While I'm waiting for that, let's take the announcements. I have 2 announcements for you. First, I love it. My name is Kemi Akinlade. Okay. You're rushing me now. All right. Is my team taking notes? I'm going to follow those. Esther from Estonia. She says, I work as a quality assurance person with Swapi in Estonia, and this is my LinkedIn handle. Fantastic. Ojola is a category and channel marketing manager in a leading FMCG company. Her LinkedIn name is Motunrayo Abiono. Oluwatomisin is a life purpose coach, podcaster, ministry gift, and she's put all her LinkedIn handles on there. Oluwadamilola is a teacher and a fashion designer. She's put where you can follow her on Instagram. Yvonne is a program officer in a women non-profit organization. Her LinkedIn is Yvonne Abiabasi. Find your tribe. Be audacious. Send connection messages. Marie Ferris is passionate about showing up intentionally in relationships, and she works as a global talent sourcer. Let's connect and grow together. I'm going to follow you. I'm already following you. You're my sister, but I'm going to follow you again. Monica Odia, the in-country representative for University of South Wales. She helps applicants get admission into USW, and I guide you through the process from start to visa application. My darling, how are we going to follow you, Monica, if we don't have your handle? Evan works in the spirits industry in a global. Should I tell you guys something? I'm going to tell you something in a second. Evan works in the spirits industry in a global company. She meets new people from different backgrounds and discovers new cultures. She's looking to extend her network and to support female leaders, and her LinkedIn handle is on there. Fun fact, Yvonne is actually my line manager in my organization. So I'm super excited to have her here today, as you can already tell from my smile. Catherine, her name is Tomi Loba. She loves God and creates Christian content and other content. She's a writer, a podcaster, a designer, an editor, a program analyst at Insight Health Consulting, and she's put her Instagram and her LinkedIn on there. Okay. Two more. Oluwadamilola is Amoke. She's a YouTuber solely creating fun, sane, and engaging content. She's an extrovert. What again? A skilled, competent, and a fashion enthusiast, I think, right? So she loves networking and learning new things. Koyin Sola. Okay, Buchi first. All right, Buchi is a former hermit. Now serving as the digital media manager for EWTN. I love EWTN, actually, the largest religious media organization in the world. She reaches and engages with over 300 million household audience to make their programming short, understandable, and engaging for all 12 of their news media agencies. Isn't that fantastic? You can connect with her on Instagram or on Twitter. Koyin Sola has built and is still building the best indigenous luxury home fragrance company in Africa with 8 years of great experience. I have 10 boxes in my living room currently from Koyin Sola, from Q Candles by Koyin. She has graciously sponsored some of our speakers, and you know I love you already. I love you so much. Thank you. Sarah Street. My team is just going. They're like, you're spending too long. Just be going. Okay, guys, just be going. Ololade is a lab dentist. Sefe is, she helps NTDs program through research and guides women on self-discovery. Please go through on and on and on. Find your tribe, follow your people, be audacious, send those connection requests. Say, I met you, I saw you on the Refined Ladies Summit. I want to connect with you. Let's go for virtual coffee dates. You know, have you had people like that? You know, we don't do it as often. Book virtual Zoom dates with people, you know, go out for lunch dates with other people, get to know people, get to understand people, and build your tribe, right? Thank you so much for doing this with me today. Final 2 announcements. I have 2 announcements for you. Yomi, let me know. Are you ready with my 2 announcements? My 2 announcements. I can't. Yes, you are? Okay, fantastic. So, announcement number 1. If you are coming for, she's giving me all sorts of sign signals. I don't know what she's saying, but I'm just going to go, right? And believe that we're together. Okay, they said drum rolls. Announcement number 1, drum rolls. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom, boom. This is what happens when you've not had sleep. Anyway, so on Saturday, the 1st of July, 2023, we are meeting physically in Lagos, Nigeria, and we're going to live stream as well, right? If you joined today and you didn't register to attend physically, but you think you want to attend physically, I might just open it. I might open the back door. My team is going to kill me, but I might open the back door for you and let you in. But I have 3 partners who have given us all sorts of stuff that we're going to give out on a raffle draw. I have Black Biz, right? They've given us something really juicy. I have Vision Uplift. They've given us something really great as well. Ars Maria, they've given us something really amazing as well, right? So there is a raffle draw on Saturday. So to enter into this raffle draw, there is going to be a link being put into the comment section of both StreamYard as well as YouTube. And if you don't get the link, don't worry. If you don't see it, don't worry. We are going to send it to you via email with the link for tomorrow. Okay, so we have this raffle draw that's coming up. I'm seeing it in the comment section now as well. We have the raffle draw that's coming up. Please put in your details there, your name, your email address, your phone number, and there's some really great stuff to win. I've asked my team, can I enter? They've said I'm not eligible. I don't really know what that means. So let's see how it's going. I might be the number one winner, right? So wait for that. And then second, can you please get the exact address for the physical conference? Oluremi, if you registered for the physical conference, you are going to receive an email probably by tomorrow with the location for the physical conference. If you didn't register, please send an email to the address that gave you the links for today, and maybe a back door can be open. Don't tell them I sent you, but maybe a door can be open. All right. Final announcement. I have partnered with an amazing guy. He has done some of my beautiful photo shoots for me. Maybe I should have even done now would have been a great time to do a video reel of all my beautiful pictures that this gentleman has done for me, right? But maybe tomorrow. Anyway, Omide Studios have partnered with him, and he's giving us something really phenomenal on the 1st of July 2023. He is offering us a package where he's going to take headshots for as many women who are attending the conference at a discounted rate. So for 10,000 Naira only, you will get 3 headshots from Omide Photography, right? One of the headshots will be fully edited. That is airbrushed, all the things that they do, Vogue style editing. And then 2 of them will be raw headshots, right? So you will go away with 3 headshots, just for you, right? And it's something we've partnered with. Now, another link is going to go into the comment section. If you cannot click it, don't worry. We're going to send it to you by email. But another link is coming to you, and just enter your details so he knows to prepare to receive you. You can pay on site. It's 10,000 Naira only, and you go away with 3 headshots, right? Even me, let me know. I'm going to be the first on the queue. I've already told them that I'm jumping the queue, and then my speakers are probably going to jump the queue as well. So I don't know about you. Come with makeup, come looking all right. Anyway, ladies, officially, I want to bring today to an end. It has been so good spending time with you. My heart is full. Well, even though I'm tired and all of this, whenever I just come into the presence of all you women, it just gives me life and joy. So thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for typing your action points in the comment section. Thank you for introducing yourself, and just thank you for being you. Remember, you are the asset. You are the gift. And over the next couple of days, as we interact with the other speakers, I hope and really, really release my hope, my greatest hope and desire is that you uncover and unlock a different dimension of yourself, and you step into the next level of what makes you you. Until tomorrow, we meet the same time tomorrow. I'm sitting with another phenomenal female leader. You don't want to miss it. 7 p.m. we go live. We actually go live at 6:55, and 7th Summit Day 2 officially begins. Have an amazing evening. I'm seeing all your kind words in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you for partnering with me, and thank you for doing this with me. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.